So I'm still slow when it comes to processing different types of bariatric surgeries. The reason I'm slow is because the words intimidate me, and because to most people, these words are foreign. I mean, we don't say gastrectomy or Roux-en-Y on a regular basis. Like I've said with math equations, when we don't regularly use or learn a topic, it's foreign to us. The way I try to combat foreign words is to break them down. But before we look at these surgeries, let's identify what bariatric actually means. In simple terms, bariatric is an umbrella term for weight loss treatment. The treatment is a surgery that somehow changes metabolism in the GI tract. And there are several different ways or surgeries that can change metabolism in this GI tract. So let's first start with adjustable gastric band. And I know this is, well, at least to me, it's intimidating. So let's think of some synonyms for the three words. So gastric is stomach. Stomach is related to your GI tract. Band, or a circle utensil that restricts or tightens an object. And then adjustable. And I think like a belt or a helmet strap, and it can be manipulated or changed so you can adjust the strength or the tightness that you need. An adjustable gastric band is when there is a circle band placed around the entrance of the stomach. The band is tight, which restricts how much food can enter the stomach at a time, and it restricts food intake, and that can lead to weight loss. This is the only surgery that can be reversed. All the other ones we're going to talk about cannot be reversed. This is the less invasive one. So let's talk about another one. Vertical sleeve gastrectomy. Let's break the words down because I'm overwhelmed too. Vertical means up and down. Sleeve, think thin-shaped. Think sleeves like shirt sleeve, long sleeve. Gastro, that's the beginning. Like gastro, stomach. And then ectomy, that is a medical suffix, and that means removal of a specific body part. So let's go back to what we just said. Up and down, vertical. Up and down, thin shape, stomach, removal. Vertical sleeve, gastrectomy. If you were to Google it, you'd notice that the average stomach is wide and it can hold a lot of food contents. In this surgery, 80% of the stomach is sliced in half and removed. The 20% remains as part of the GI tract. So, like I was saying, think of a long sleeve. Now imagine this isn't a sleeve, this is the length and width of your stomach. It's almost comparable to a banana in shape, and this surgery is not reversible. The surgery restricts the amount of food consumed in one setting, and it provides feeling of fullness, which leads to weight loss. What about Roux-en-Y? Well, this is a surgery for severe obesity, and it's not reversible, and it can have many complications. This one doesn't really have any word tricks that I could come up with, but I don't get it mixed up since it's a very specific surgery. Essentially, the entrance of the stomach is split between the rest of the stomach, and it creates a small pouch. Now, this pouch must go somewhere in order to empty food from the entrance of the stomach. In the surgery, a Y shape is created when the duodenum is cut in half and moved to connect to the small pouch at the entrance of the stomach. I always have to see a picture to break it down properly, and I know I've been studying this for a while, but I'm definitely a visual learner, and hearing all of this word jargon is very intimidating. Again, foreign if we don't talk about it enough. Now remember how I said the rest of the stomach gets food? Since the stomach is still usable to create gastric acid, salts and enzymes help to break down food once it enters the duodenum, and this is where that pouch is connected. Now there's two types of this surgery. We already discussed one, where the stomach connects to the duodenum. That is the first part of the small intestine. There's more complex surgery that bypasses both the stomach and the duodenum and connects to the second part of the small intestine, which is the jejunum. Now, both would be named Roux-en-Y, but one will be named gastroduodenoscopy. See, I still struggle with this word. Gastroduodenoscopy. In Roux-en-Y, gastroduodenoscopy. So you notice each word has jejunum or duodenum to clarify and identify the two. Most people call it gastric bypass surgery, which is another word for Roux-en-Y, since the stomach is bypassing the small intestine in some way through that surgical procedure. So let's break down these words. Duodenum, first part of the three when discussing small intestines, and switch, to change or alter in some way. So duodenum is being changed or altered in some way. We're talking about the duodenal switch. So duodenal switch is the most complex surgery. The first step in the surgery involves removing 80% of the stomach that we discussed as observed in the gastric sleeve, where it's that banana shape. Now the duodenum, which follows next to the stomach, is cut in half. The duodenum is connected to the stomach, but it now connects to the last part of the intestines, which is the ileum. The duodenum switches or moves where food flows from the stomach to half of the duodenum, to the ileum, and then bypasses half the duodenum and all of the jejunum. I'm going to break this word down slowly because I still struggle to say it really quickly. Biliopancreatic refers to the structure of bile ducts in the pancreas. Diversion means to change direction or alter in some way. So, biliopancreatic diversion with duodenal switch is another way of identifying the surgery. Biliopancreatic diversion is when bile and pancreatic juice are delayed from mixing with the food. That's because pancreatic juice and bile is first found in the duodenum, and the duodenum is limited usage.